In the backwaters of the internet, where curiosity often led to regret, emerged a grim trend: the Quintessence Challenge. It was an online puzzle, its hype fed by dark whispers and forbidden allure. One of the rules stated that once solved, the participant had a mere 5 days to live. Most dismissed it as a sensational prank. Others were intrigued enough to tread into the darkness. Ryan, an avid online gamer, stumbled upon the Quintessence Challenge during an all-night deep dive. The community spoke of the challenge with a strange mix of fear and fascination. Ryan, undeterred by the reputed curse, took up the gauntlet. And that's when things started to change. Ryan found the challenge to be a series of intricate puzzles, riddles nested in enigmas, each one harder than the last. His gamer instinct kicked in, guiding him through the labyrinthine complexity. After a grueling 24 hours, he completed the final challenge, a cryptic cipher of unknown origin. Nothing happened. Ryan smirked, mocking the superstition that he'd been worried about. But as he shut his computer off, a chill swept across the room. His heart pounded against his chest, his mouth dry. He felt a prickle at the back of his neck, the sense of being watched. On day 2, Ryan began to notice strange occurrences. His world seemed to decay around him. Food spoiled, lights flickered, his once reliable electronics glitched erratically. People he knew grew distant, as if they sensed an alien darkness. He started receiving anonymous emails, each containing a countdown. 4 days left, 3 days left. A cold dread seeped into Ryan's mind. On day 3, he woke up to find his reflection distorted in the mirror, his image flickering like a faulty hologram. Desperate, he logged back into the challenge's forum, pleading for help. But his messages were met with disbelief or cruel laughter. His post was buried under countless others, ignored as a ploy for attention. Day 4 was worse. His reality began to fracture. He could hear whispers behind the walls, the ticking of an unseen clock in his head. His reflection turned monstrous. He saw his name etched onto a gravestone during a late-night internet search. His phone rang with a harsh, discordant tone. The caller ID read, "Quintessence." He answered, but only heard a low, rumbling laughter. On day 5, Ryan felt his life force ebbing away. He was a ghost in his own body, an observer to his accelerating decay. His world was a blurred echo of once familiar sights and sounds. His pleas for help were met with deafening silence. The countdown emails stopped, replaced by a single word: goodbye. As the clock struck midnight, marking the beginning of day 6, Ryan gave one last plea into the void. His life did not end in a bang, but in a pitiful whimper. His final heartbeat echoed in the deafening silence of his apartment. The glow of his computer screen was the only witness to his lonely end. Word spread throughout the community. The once dismissed warning was all too real. Fear rippled across the internet. Many tried to delete their accounts, but the digital specter of the Quintessence Challenge lingered, a haunting testament to their naive bravado. It was no longer a challenge. It was a death sentence, a grim reminder of the cost of curiosity. Despite the dire consequences, the challenge drew more curious souls into its lethal web, the whispers of its deadly allure growing louder with each passing day. People were drawn to the thrill, the deadly risk. The Quintessence Challenge continued to evolve, an online trend that offered the ultimate stakes, the very essence of life itself. And so it was. The dark curse of the Quintessence Challenge echoed through the web, drawing the curious, the brave, and the reckless into its fatal grasp. Its influence grew, spreading across forums and message boards, ghosting through private servers, and haunting the spaces between the codes. Word of the ill-fated Ryan reached the desk of Kara, a seasoned cyber-investigator. She'd built her career exposing online scams and tracking digital predators. Kara took Ryan's fate as a challenge, to conquer the Quintessence or expose its creators. She didn't believe in curses, not until she started the game. Her initial playthrough was uneventful. Day 1 saw no change, just a triumphant sense of victory. Day 2, however, made her doubt. Her computer crashed, deleting months of work. Strange emails started filling her inbox, ominous countdowns. Shadows danced in her peripheral vision. A chilly breeze followed her indoors, and familiar faces started to look strange and menacing. Determined not to meet the same fate as Ryan, Kara began an urgent counter-investigation. She started retracing Ryan's steps, visiting the same forums, trying to piece together the eerie puzzle. On day 3, her reality distorted as Ryan's had. The whispers grew louder, the unease more pronounced, her reflection in the mirror no longer her own. The countdown continued relentlessly. 2 days left. Kara knew she had little time. She reached out to the only person she could think of, her old mentor, Professor Sandhu, an expert in cryptology and ancient languages. He was fascinated by her predicament. As he dissected the challenge, he began to understand its true nature. The game wasn't a simple prank or hack. It was an intricately designed trap, binding the player with a digital curse rooted in ancient occult practices. Day 4 arrived with a thunderstorm. As lightning flashed, Professor Sandhu had a breakthrough. He figured out the game's master cipher. It was a digital sigil, a binding mark in cyberspace, tying the player's life force to the game. But he also found something else, a loophole. To break the curse, one needed to play the game in reverse order, a digital exorcism of sorts. With less than 24 hours left, Kara attempted the reverse challenge. Each solved riddle making her feel lighter. The whispers grew fainter. As the day ended, she completed the challenge. The final clock stopped at 1 second to midnight. The morning of day 5 was serene. The curse had lifted. Kara's world returned to normal, her reflection her own. The ominous emails ceased. She'd escaped the grip of death. Kara leaked her findings and the solution across the web, saving countless lives. The Quintessence Challenge was finally beaten. Its once menacing allure diminished. Its forums died down, and the lethal trend was reduced to digital whispers. However, somewhere deep in the dark recesses of the internet, another curious soul stumbled upon the Quintessence Challenge. Unaware of its lethal past or the solution, they eagerly plunged into the game. The deadly allure of the challenge lived on, waiting for its next victim. Its creators, their identities still unknown, continued to watch, their digital eyes gleaming with satisfaction in the dark corners of the web. A grim reminder of the devastating consequences of online trends and the cost of digital curiosity.